What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'm doing race 6 for the 2025 Freight Racing 208. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. This weekend, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series has at Atlanta Motor Speedway, a 1.5-mile super speedway type of track that provides sometimes a lot of carnage, some pretty big wrecks, and also some pretty exciting and good racing from time to time. The last time we ran the Truck Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway, we saw Kyle Busch pick up his first of 2 victories of 2024. He's back this time around to defend and trying to pick up his first truck win of 2025. So now we're going ahead and jump into picks. But before we go ahead and jump into picks, let's take a look at the weather for this weekend. So the weather for this weekend is looking somewhat positive. It's going to be 50 degrees at high with 28 degrees as a low with a 0% chance of rain with partly cloudy skies. While the weather is going to be nice with no rain in the forecast like this past week at Daytona, it is going to be extremely cold if you're headed out to the track. I'd be prepared to be bundled up if you're heading out to the track. It's going to be around 45 degrees when the race does go green, so be prepared to be bundled up and ready to go in case you are headed to the track this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And now let's go ahead and jump into picks for the weekend. For those who are new to the channel, here's how picks usually work. I do 2 suck picks, 2 drivers I expect to struggle throughout the weekend who will not do good this weekend or struggle at this type of track. I do 2 underdog picks, 2 drivers who desperately need a good run who I think will have a good run this weekend or are really good in this type of track. And I do my winners pick, the driver who's going to win the race overall. And then I have the drivers you need to watch out for, and usually for the Craftsman Truck Series and Xfinity Series as well. I got 4 drivers you need to watch out for along with the race winner. So now, let's go ahead and jump into picks. Who are my second picks for the 2025 Freight Racing 208? My first suck pick for this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway is the driver 34 truck for Farmer Motorsports, Lane Riggs. Lane Riggs, in my opinion, is not the best super speedway racer out there and generally has had a ton of bad luck at these types of tracks. Also, last time we ran here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, I think he fell out of the race early with mechanical issues and basically got disqualified at the end of the event about an hour before the Xfinity Series race started going up and running. Lane Riggs just hasn't been good at super speedways generally. You go back to Talladega, he didn't have the best finish at Daytona either, unfortunately, this past week. So I think it's going to be a little bit of struggle for Lane Riggs in the front row group. He's going to have a fast truck, there's no question on that, but you sometimes do have to have luck to be good, and he really hasn't had the luck at these types of tracks, in my opinion. My second suck pick for this weekend at Atlanta is a driver of the 42 truck for Nice Motorsports, Matt Mills. Matt Mills has struggled to start off 2025. Unfortunately, I think he had a mechanical issue in the early portion race at Daytona, and Matt Mills really hasn't had the pace and speed on super speedways to be a massive threat in serious contender. I think it's going to be unfortunate, big struggle for Matt Mills with Nice Motorsports. His team has kind of taken a step backwards in some areas as well. I don't think he's going to be a major factor in serious contender. I think it will be a little bit of struggle for Matt Mills in Nice Motorsports this weekend. And now we're going ahead and jump on the underdog picks for the 2025 Freight Racing 208. Who are my underdog picks? My first underdog pick for this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway is a driver in a 71 truck for Spire Motorsports, Roger Carruth. Now, normally I would put Roger Carruth in the category of probably one to watch out for, but Roger hasn't had always the best luck at super speedways. But Roger's had some decent runs at super speedways in the last couple times he ran, including, I believe, finishing inside the top 10 at Atlanta the last time we were here. And especially with how quick the Spire trucks, I think, are going to be this weekend. I do think that Roger Carruth has a solid chance and opportunity, and I do think that with the speed he will have, I think there's a solid chance and a pretty strong opportunity that Roger could definitely at least get a top 10 and maybe outside chance of getting a top 5 and turning the season around this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway. My second underdog pick for this weekend at Atlanta is the driver 66 truck for Thorsport Racing, Luke Fenhaus. Luke Fenhaus will make his first of many starts in the Craftsman Truck Series in 2025 this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And I think that Luke Fenhaus is actually going to be somewhat of a factor. Number 1, Luke Fenhaus, I think, is a very good, talented driver. But number 2, Luke Fenhaus is going to be part of a Thorsport team that was really strong at Daytona. And with Daytona Atlanta being similar in some way, shape, or form, I think that's really going to help the Thorsport trucks in a pretty big way, which I do think will lead to Luke Fenhaus having a really solid run, having good pace and speed. I think he will contend at least for a top 10 in his first start with this team in 2025. And now we're going ahead and jump on to the winner's pick for the 2025 Freight Racing 208. Who am I picking to win? The driver who I'm picking to win is coming into this weekend as a defending winner at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Craftsman Truck Series and has also won Atlanta Motor Speedway many times before in his Truck Series career. I'm going with the driver of the 7 for Spire Motorsports, Kyle Busch, to pick up his first Truck Series win of 2025 and pick up his first win in the top 3 series since, I believe, Texas Motor Speedway in the Truck Series last year. Kyle Busch really needs some momentum. After an unfortunate run at Daytona during the Daytona 500, I think he's got a really good chance to turn it around. He's been really good at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the past, and the Spire trucks have generally been really solid and really, really good at this track in the past. So I think that Kyle Busch will be a solid threat and big contender. I think he will pick up his first truck win. I don't exactly know what number it would be for Kyle Busch, but I do think Kyle Busch will add to his total across all 3 series and pick up the first of multiple victories in the Truck Series in 2025. And now we're going ahead, jump on to the drivers you need to watch out for this weekend at Atlanta. Who should you have your eyes out on? The first driver you should watch out for this weekend at Atlanta is the driver of the 11 truck for Tricon Garage, Corey Heim. Corey Heim did pick up his first win of 2025 at Daytona this past week, but we're waiting for the appeal in regards to Park Clermont for that to be decided. But Corey Heim is going to be very strong. He won Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Truck Series in 2022, and Corey Heim's been really good at Atlanta Super Speedway the last 3 years. I think Corey Heim will be a pretty big factor, and it would not surprise or shock me if he does get a second straight win, as Tricon's shown some really good speed at this track in the past and in previous years. The second driver you should watch out for this weekend at Atlanta is a driver to 38 truck for Front Row Motorsports, Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith is coming off of having a pretty decent finish at the truck race, finishing inside of the top 10, and he had one of the fastest trucks at Daytona International Speedway this past week. And Chandler Smith's been really good at Atlanta Super Speedway in the Craftsman Truck Series, as well as he had a really good chance and opportunity to win the race in 2022. I do think that with the front row speed, it's going to be there for Chandler, and I think we'll have a truck definitely capable enough to be a major factor in series contender to go to victory lane this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The third driver to watch out for this weekend at Atlanta is a driver of the 99 truck for Thorsport Racing, Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes had arguably the fastest truck at Daytona this past week. As I already mentioned, the Thorsport trucks were really, really good at Daytona. And I think Ben Rhodes will be a major factor in serious contender to potentially go to victory lane. It's been almost 2 years at this point, actually about a year since Ben Rhodes did pick up a win in trucks competition. He did outwin last year. So I think this is definitely a good chance and opportunity. And I think he will be a major factor to go to victory lane for sure this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway with Thorsport. And a fourth final driver that I think you should watch out for this weekend at Atlanta is a driver 07 truck for Spire Motorsports, Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell did make his first Truck Series start in 15 years this past weekend at Daytona, and unfortunately did not have the finish that I think he really deserved. I do think that McDowell is going to be more of a factor this weekend. I think with Spire and him having a little more acclimation with the trucks, I think will be a major factor for the win. I think the Spire trucks are going to be good this weekend, so I think Michael McDowell will be a solid factor in serious contender to get his first ever Truck Series victory this weekend at Atlanta. So, those are my race picks for the 2025 Freight Racing 208 at Atlanta. Just a reminder, my suck picks are Lane Riggs, Matt Mills. My underdog picks are Roger Kroof, Luke Fenhaus. My winner's pick is Kyle Busch. And the ones to watch out for are Corey Heim, Chandler Smith, Ben Rhodes, and Michael McDowell. Those are my race picks. So, that is going to be it for the Race 6 video for the 2025 Freight Racing 208 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go some more of that and comment your picks below for this weekend at Atlanta. Tell me your suck picks, tell me your underdog picks, tell me your winner's pick, and let me know what drivers you're watching out for this weekend at Atlanta. Let me know your picks in the comments below. There will be the Xfinity Series race picks for this week in Atlanta dropping as well. If there's any major news that does break later today, we'll discuss here live as well. Tomorrow, we're going to have the Cup Series race picks for the And Better Health 400. We also will have the paint skin video as well. Then on Friday, we're going to have multiple NASCAR news videos, as many as 2, maybe even 3 as well on Friday. And we might even have reactions to qualifying as well this weekend for other series. We're going to have content of people like Haley Diggins, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Carl Lawrence, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Ben Rhodes, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Brian KSI, Logan Paul, all the good stuff. Donald Trump, Cletus McFarland, Connor Zillage, Junior Motorsports, all the good stuff will be dropping on the channel very, very soon. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.